Hello and welcome back to Project 944. We're once again here at the magical land of LUDEN Automotive, although at the moment, as you'll see in the B-roll, it's more like LUDEN Fords. So please forgive us, we don't have too much room today to work around the car, so the thumbnail is going to be a bit shoddy, camera work isn't going to be absolutely fantastic as per usual, but today we've got something quite interesting that we're going to be doing. So we've got a pre-MOT list from one of Luke's wonderful, amazing mechanics, Jonas, telling us everything that's wrong with the car ready for its MOT. So I'm going to talk you through that list in a moment. We're also going to be tightening our alternator belt because it's loose and not charging the battery properly. Now we do have a new battery in the car. And also, we've got brand new tyres on it. We'll walk you through that. And gearbox oil. There's a lot to do today, so let's get into it. Right, okay, so we've got a list here from Jonas, and we're going to start talking you through some of the stuff that we know we now need to do before it's kind of ready for the road legal stuff. So first of all, we've got the bearings on the front wheels. They need to be redone. So we have actually got replacements for that already, so that's good. The battery currently isn't secure, so there's no bracket or anything holding it down. It's just sat in the well, which isn't really ideal, not particularly at least. The fuel filter, as we know, is held on by a coat hanger, so we need to actually fix that before it goes in for its MOT. Probably a good idea. We've also got the rust hole in the rear quarter panel on the lower side of it in the wheel arch as well. We know about that, so that'll need to be fixed before it can really go on the road, unfortunately. Now, the interesting one, which is something that we didn't know about, is the passenger front wishbone ball joint is completely buggered. And obviously the wing as well has got corrosion on it. Now, I didn't think this was going to be a problem initially because, you know, it's just a wishbone. Surely we can get another part of those. However, what I wasn't counting on was that they're £800 new. 800 for a wishbone. So we're in a bit of a rock and a hard place at the moment because as many of you will know, we don't monetize our YouTube channel at the moment. So we may just have to deal with that for now and hope that it behaves well enough for us to be able to drive it for the next coming months over summer. Also, the boot switch in the rear doesn't work at the moment, so we've got to do that to make sure that we can use the key to open the boot instead of just the switch in the cabin. We've also added 4 new tyres, so if you want to come with me, I know that we're sort of walking around here. Many of you will remember that I was saying that the original Kumo tyres that were put on this car were about, was it 11, 12 years old? So naturally what we've done is we've replaced these with Goodyear Eagle F1. We've got asymmetric 3 on the front and we've got asymmetric 2 on the rear. We did want to go for asymmetric 5s, but they're quite pricey at the moment for this tyre size, so we may have to wait a little bit for that. Maybe the next time we need tyres, we'll go for asymmetric 5. But the Goodyear comes in 17-inch, which is something that the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s do not. So that was the choice for this tyre. It's still just as good as the Michelin. Only marginally less grip. Marginally. You'd not notice it unless you were really, really pushing the car on the track. But for road use, these are going to be really, really good. So with all that said, and our list now confirmed, I think let's get on with the gearbox oil. Okay, so just a quick idea as well is that obviously we told you that there's a problem with the wishbone. So the actual problem is that, well, it could be the bearing, but we also know the wishbone is pretty buggered as well on the ball joint. So at the moment, you've got quite a lot of play in that wheel. Whereas over the other side here, apologies, you might get a little bit lost here, but there is absolutely no movement on that side compared to that one. So naturally, there's a problem. As I said in the previous clip, we have got new wheel bearings for both of these sides, but seeing as the ball joint is a problem on this as well, that could be causing the issue as well. So it's not great, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to deal with it as it goes because unfortunately, that's just the nature of these cars. Okay, so now that we've got our oil pan underneath the gearbox, we put some penetrative fluid just on the gearbox. I can't remember what they're called. Are they gearbox nuts?
Drain plug.
Drain plug. There we go. Got it in the end. So next up, pretty much, is we're going to make sure that the filler drain plug actually comes undone, because there's no point draining the fluid if we can't get any in. So we're going to be doing that first to make sure that comes out. We have got replacement drain plugs as well, so that's all going to be nice and sorted. Shouldn't be any sort of problems. Fingers crossed, goes to plan, and then I will show you what oil we're going to be using. That is really stuck in there, even with the WD-40 on it. Well, I suppose it probably hasn't been done in like 10 years, like the rest of the car. Oh! It moved! Yes! Jared, we did a thing! It's actually coming undone. You know what? I'm gonna put 80% of that down to the WD-40 rather than the 20% of it actually being me. But oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so now that that's actually coming off, you might actually be able to get in here. So, drain plug at the top. That is the filler up the top there. And if we can get the filler undone, it means we can re-top it up with oil, which is good. And now we can actually drain it. So that's fantastic news.
You know, when we drain it, there's only going to be about
like litre?
50 millilitres of it coming out.
It's not. It won't be much. Won't be much. But that's good. That's good. It means we can actually change the oil, because that was our worry that we weren't going to be able to do it properly. So all good. There we go.
The mighty Thor.
The mighty Thor. That's good. At least we know it comes out. Now I've got to find my replacement drain plugs. They'll be in the box somewhere. Okay, well there is oil in it. Ooh, that's good. It doesn't look too bad actually, does it? Oh, well, because we were saying that, we were wondering if a lot of the noises we were hearing out the back of the rear of the car, if that was the fact that the gearbox had no oil. But it does. And it actually looks, I mean, you can probably see, it's still golden. There's not much. It's really, really good fluid. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with us changing it, because we still don't know the last time it was done. But that's kind of good. It's kind of good. But it's also bad because we now might not have this as the problem that we were hoping it was going to be. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so now that I'm completely covered in gearbox oil, this is what we're going to be replacing it with. We're replacing it with Castrol. I think it's like Transmax manual. It's 75W90. So for anyone that's watching this wondering how to do a gearbox change on a 944 or oil change, that's what apparently you need, according to many sources on the internet. So I believe it's only about a litre or so that actually you have to put into this. Don't confirm on that. I'll put it on screen exactly how much you need, but we're going to find out the hard way, because pretty much you fill it up until it's just at the top of the what's it called, the filler plug area. So hopefully should go okay. Okay, so after 20 minutes of searching around, looking in every single box possible, we've finally found them. So we can actually apply the new drain plugs, and sump plugs rather.
Where did you have them, Liam?
We're not discussing this. No. They're in our camera bag. Of all places, we searched the entire lot of our parts. They were in our camera bag. So yeah, it's one of those things. But at least we have them, so we can replace them now. Okay, so now with our new sump plug in, time to put the gearbox oil in. Now apparently we need around 2 litres, so hopefully this should be enough with our 2 bottles, because they're 1 litre each. And fingers crossed that they do actually fill it correctly. If not, I'm going to need to get a little more, and it's not really a huge problem for us because the car's not going anywhere anytime soon. So for us it's okay, but for you, make sure you've got the correct amount of oil. So let's get to it. Ooh, that's a bit of oil wasted.
We need every drop, Liam.
We need every drop. Wait.
Is that actually as far out as it comes?
Yep, there we go.
Okay, that's not much better even, to be honest.
Oh, it's better. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so now that we have our Ann Summers discount sex toy, we're going to be filling out with oil so that we can actually apply it to our drain plug correctly, or our fill plug rather. Ours is in a really awkward location to try and get any sort of bottle up to. So fortunately, because we're in a rather lovely workshop, we've got a nice tool available to us. Probably, I imagine many of you may not have a tool like this, so you may have to do your own research on what you're going to need to use to be able to do this correctly, but fortunately we have people on hand to help us in these situations. So let's try again. Oh, it's like honey. We're losing more.
Actually losing so much oil.
That's better. Oh, we're losing so much oil. Nearly had that drop on my face. Okay, so gearbox oil is done. Lovely, no problem. Seems to be the right amount, so hopefully, fingers crossed, no more is needed. But now it's time to sort our squeaky alternator belt, which has been plaguing this car ever since episode 1 of Project 944. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got an 18, is it 18 mil? Or is it, yeah, they are measured in mils, aren't they? It's a size 18 spanner. We're going to be using that, and then we're going to be tightening our alternator belt. So let's get on with it. Right, so there's a bar here. Pretty much this bar is in tensioner. What you got to do is we're basically going to be pushing the alternator this way towards you, towards the camera, which will tighten or put some tension on this belt here, because careful with the microphone, but you might be able to see here it is very, very, very loose, and it shouldn't be that loose. So we're going to be pushing the bar that way. So there's got 2 bolts on this system here. We're going to be basically pushing it this way so that it puts tension on, and hopefully that should solve our squeaking issue. Right, done. That was much easier. It was really, really quick. So once again, all we did was pretty much loosen these bolts off. We then made this bar go towards the power steering pump, which then forces the alternator out that way. It's now put tension on the belt, so honestly that should mean that there's no more squeaky noises. It also might mean that it's not our alternator that was the problem all along. Hopefully it is just the belt, and it should be good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lower the car, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to see if it squeaks. If it does squeak, obviously we know there's still a problem. If not, all good. So let's give it a go. No more squeak! Yes! Victory! Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do leave a like and a comment below what else you think we should do to this car, because we've just found out that potentially we've got another thing to add to the list, because it's got a lumpy idle, and we had a look. Guess how much an idle control valve for the 944 is? Brand new, £600. So, I mean, yeah, great. Anyway, as I said, hope you enjoyed. We've got some interesting stuff coming up in the future, so be sure to subscribe for that. If you haven't already, please do check out our podcast as well. Link will be in the description below. Anyone of a new listener to that is always very welcome, and be sure to join our Discord server as well. Community's on there, fantastic, brilliant guys and girls. You'll be sure to like it. Anyway guys, take care. We'll catch you in the next one.